These past 18 months have honestly been some of the most transformative times of my life, and a major reason for that are mastermind events that I've been to and retreats that I've been to that have created that change. I actually just got back from one last week, so this video is going to be all about the 5 benefits that I've gotten from these different events that has really changed my life over the past year and a half. I'm Patrick Menefee, and I'm here to help you level up your money, your mindset, and your mission in order to help you become the best possible version of yourself, because I believe the world needs more people who are playing up to their full potential. Now, this video is also coming out as a part of a newsletter that I release every other week called the Menefee's Monday Motivator. If you are interested, and if you didn't come here from that, first of all, welcome. Second of all, you can go to the link in the description and you can subscribe. You'll get something delivered to you every other week. Now, over the course of the past year and a half, I've gone to events from the GoBundance Emerge community, from the Jason Drees community, and from my coach Aaron Belke from his community. As a result of those, there's been a number of things that stand out. And that's why in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 benefits. Now, the first big benefit is in exploration. You're around a bunch of high-level people. You're around people that are potentially way above where you're trying to go. You're around people that are running the same path as you. There's a lot of opportunity to see what other people were doing successfully. Last year, when I started going to some of these events, I was in a phase where I knew that I needed to pivot. I knew I needed to go away from where I was going, but I wasn't sure what I was moving towards. For a while, I explored commercial real estate. I'd gone from flipping, I had done 1-2 commercial deals, and I thought about going bigger, getting into multifamily deals and doing a lot more multifamily. I had conversations with people because there's so many people in these communities, particularly GoBundance, that are in the real estate space, that I thought that I might dive into that by having conversations with people there. I ultimately decided that's not where I wanted to go, but A, I got the benefit of those conversations and I got clarity from those conversations, and B, if that was a path that I wanted to go down, I had a lot of resources that could help me out. Speaking to exploration, I also had some conversations with someone about, she just inadvertently mentioned that she bought a couple of landscaping businesses. And that set me on a trajectory where I ended up buying a business myself, a lawn care company. All of that happened because I had different conversations with people that are doing different things because I was in explore mode. I was trying to figure out what I wanted, and I was trying to intake information. And it's such a great place to intake information because there's so many people that are successful doing a variety of different things. Now, that can lead to a challenge, which is tied into the benefit of number 2, which is the deep dive. There's a great opportunity to dive deep into particular topics once you're in these events and communities. Now, I also encourage you to do that at some point. Once you get past exploration and you decide on what it is that you're trying to do, it's kind of time to shut off the noise. You don't need to go talk to everybody about every single industry and every single business that they've started. You need to focus on the people that are doing what you are doing. And what I found is that you can do that in 3 different ways. One way that you can do it is by really just connecting with people who are doing exactly what it is that you're doing. If you're a multifamily investor, talk to other multifamily investors at the event. If for some reason there's none there, which there will be, but in the off chance, just for the sake of the example, that there aren't, you can find referrals. You can connect with other people. And in most cases in these environments, people want to help you. People also want to connect you with people who want to help you. So you can dive really deep on that topic by learning exactly from someone who is doing what you're doing. The second opportunity to dive deep is by learning about someone who does and provides a particular product or service that you need to take your business to the next level. Maybe you're looking for a salesperson or a marketing person or someone to take your social media to the next level. You probably find someone like that at these events, or again, a referral to one of those people that can help you take that part of your business to the next level as you dive deeper into those areas. And the third way to dive deep is through the educational content. Usually there's some form of speaker talking about a topic, some form of agenda, some type of curriculum for what it is that you're going to this event for. And there's always an opportunity to apply that directly to what it is that you're doing. I'll give you an example from this event that I just got back from. We did an exercise called Ikigai. And I've used this to a couple of different times, but the idea of Ikigai is, bottom line, to help you figure out what you should be doing and where your passions lie. Now, when I've done this Ikigai framework in the past, I've done it in a way where I was exploring. I was trying to figure out where the hell I wanted to go. In this case, this exercise, I knew where I'm trying to go. This exercise reinforced that. It helped me identify all the different ways that this path that I'm on is the right one and where I can take it in order to help it grow more and more and more. What I found at this past event is it's about now at the point that I'm at with these deep dives, it's about the little tweaks that are going to help keep me on the right path as fast as humanly possible, as opposed to exploring and trying to figure out which path I'm supposed to be on. Now, the third benefit is these events help you change your thinking. There's so many different examples that I could give that I'm an entirely different person now than I was a year and a half ago when I started going to these events. I'll give you 2 examples. One is removing limiting beliefs. A lot of times we have some type of belief that's in our head that holds us back from going where we're trying to go. Maybe we tell ourselves a story about how we're not good enough, about how we're not worthy, how we're not lovable. Those are all three things that came up this weekend. At these events, they call those things out. And when people call these things out, now it opens up your mind and it creates some awareness of it and shines a light on it so that you can do something about it. A second example that was really helpful was the facilitator at this past event. We were mapping out the next 6 months, and we called it 6 different phases. And the first step was mapping out phase 1. These are the steps that we're going to take over the next days, weeks, or even the next month. After that, we mapped out phases 2 through 6, which were roughly tied to months, maybe not. And those were going to help us get to our longer term target that was 6 months out. Now, here's how our thinking changed. A lot of times you do that type of exercise and you start mapping out all the details of phase 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get hung up in all of this shit where you're trying to figure out, well, if this happens and this happens and this happens, then what about this? And like, you waste all that time. The mindset shift was you focus on phase 1. You map out the other phases so you've got a rough idea of what's going to happen next, but you focus on phase 1. When you complete phase 1, it's no longer moving into phase 2, it's moving into a new phase 1. And you're only ever executing in phase 1. And by doing that, you only keep the main thing right in front of you because there's so many variables down the road that are so hard to define and that you can't take into account. You can only focus on the steps that are right in front of you. So create the roadmap, create an idea of where you're going. I always harp on vision and the importance of having a longer term vision. Build out the vision, but build the specifics for the next phase. And then once you get towards the end of that phase, build out the next set of specifics. That helped change everybody's thinking to not always getting bogged down in the future steps. The fourth big benefit from these events, honestly, it's radical honesty. It is the ability for someone to call you on your shit. It is the ability for someone to sometimes kick you in the teeth when you need it. And that's exactly what happened to me 1.5 years ago. We were at an event in Miami, and it was kind of what triggered this entire change that I've had over the past 1.5 years. And we were having a conversation where we were talking about impact. We were talking about my desire to make a difference in the world. I was talking about my house flipping business. And one of the coaches, who I wasn't even talking to at the time, he came out of nowhere and he blindsides me. And he just looks at me and he says, "Patrick, what the fuck are you doing flipping houses? And how is that helping anybody in the world?" And I just kind of looked at him. I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And I was resistant at first, but he was right. And that led to a big pivot. Now there's a lot more to that I can get into another time, or if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know a little bit more of that story. But that moment, that radical honesty was exactly what I needed. And most events that you go to, most networking events, communities, people are afraid to give that type of feedback, or they'll do it and they're totally off base. In these environments, everybody wants you to move forward. Everybody wants you to succeed. And by wanting you to succeed, people will tell you the hard truths that you don't always necessarily want to hear, but usually need to hear. Which leads me to my fifth benefit, which is the community. That community applies up for people who are way ahead of where you are and where you're trying to go. That applies across for other people who are running alongside of you and also trying to make it to the next level and linking arms together and making things happen. And it applies for people who haven't quite gotten to where you are yet. You have this incredible community of people who are trying to do something big and people who are trying to help each other. I'll tell you what this does. This does a couple of things. One is it creates this sense of shared experience that you don't have with other people. When you get in a room and you work through these things for 2 or 3 or 4 days together and you have these big revelations and you share in front of people and you're raw and you expose the things that you are worried about or scared of or anything like that, you build a connection with the people in that room. And that connection is sometimes you share things that a lot of your friends may not know about. That connection takes you really far and allows you to help each other continue to move forward because you know that this person is raw, authentic, open, honest, and you would genuinely want to help them. The second part is kind of like the honesty piece, is it creates a space for accountability. I now know where you're going. Because I know where you're going and I know what you care about and I know what you've told me, I can hold you accountable to that. And I hope you will hold me accountable to that as well. We talk about where we're going to go. We talk about the steps that we're going to do to get there. We talk about the things that we're going to give up and the things that we're going to stop allowing to waste our time. Now we can hold each other accountable for the things that we just said that we're going to do. And when you have that community, it's so powerful. And when you have people that you can latch onto that are a few steps ahead of you, you have so much growth that's possible because now you can tap into additional sources of knowledge, plus their networks and everything else. And it makes such a big difference. The people that I've met in these communities have ultimately changed my life. All of these other things are benefits that come from education and come from knowledge and come from engagement, but it all comes down to the people and the community that you can build, the people that you can add to your just close group of people that you talk to on a regular basis. It changes everything. So those are the 5 benefits: exploration, diving deep, changing your mindset, getting radically honest in the community. So I encourage you to check out mastermind groups. Happy to share the ones that I'm a part of, especially the Go Abundance Emerge group. Happy to share that with you if you want to have a conversation about it. But I encourage you to dive in. If you've been thinking about it, but you're on the fence, think about the ROI piece that I just talked about. Is it worth it to not become the person that you're supposed to become? What is that financial cost worth? Is it worth saving a couple $1,000s to stay stuck for the next 30 years? Or is it worth investing a little bit of money to become the next version of you? Again, that's what we're all about in this channel, and in really all the work that I do is helping you become the best version of you. And this mastermind event, mastermind community is one of the best ways that I found to do that. So hope you enjoy this. Hope this is helpful. Click the like button and subscribe so that you can be notified of the next video, especially if this is beneficial to you. And if you want to know more about the mastermind groups or about investing in yourself, please reach out. I would love to have a conversation.